Hi, this is Mike. I haven't had any videos in a few weeks. I've been so much work. Besides my regular job, I do a little side work in the shop, and it's been a record month in January, so I haven't had really any time to do much out here. I've been out here a lot working, but I haven't had time to shoot any of it. I shot a little bit. I haven't even had a chance to edit it, stuff from weeks ago. So I'm going to try to put some of that together. I do a little setup and test of a Harbor Freight wet tile saw, which I actually use for parts I'm making for cutting carbon fiber tubing. So we'll hook that up. Let's see, there's a little demo of a linear array feature on the mill, if I get it all in there anyway. And I guess let me move the camera and I'll show you what I hope to have coming up soon if I have enough time to work on it. So hopefully in the near future we can build something out of all this metal you see here. For quite some time I've been wanting the chucks that came on my lathe are you know, they're cheap Chinese ones. I mean they work, they're serviceable. But they don't balance very well. At certain RPMs, the lathe shakes a little bit, and I know I can, you know, get more precision and a better finish if they're balanced. So years ago, I used to play with model airplanes, and they always had a propeller balancer, which was basically a shaft that spun on a couple of discs that acted as bearings, and you could figure out the heavy side and weight it or remove material. They certainly sell larger versions of that for balancing grinding wheels and other such things, but being frugal, I guess that's a good word for it, cheap. Anyway, I decided to try to make my own. I've been drawing up some plans. It's basically I've been collecting materials. So this is a piece of 1 inch thick, so just over 25 millimeter, 6 1/4 by 14. It's cast aluminum tooling plate, so it should be pretty flat and stable. It doesn't have to be perfect, but anyway, so this is going to become the base after we clean it up and all that. So basically there'll be a base. On one end there's going to be a couple of adjustment screws. On the other end there'll be one in the center, so it'll have a 3-point level, so we can get it level in both planes on the surface plate. And then we'll take this. This is some 1/2 inch, just regular 6061 aluminum, and we'll cut this and make a couple of uprights that there'll be 2 of these standing up and a little notch in the middle, and then we're going to make a couple of wheels, or I guess wheels is the right word for them. But anyway, there will be we're going to cut it out of this, which is 3.5 inch diameter D2 tool steel. So this stuff is very tough, which I don't know that I will harden them and grind them. Ideally, I would. I don't have any kind of a heat treat set up. These will be small enough. They can probably be done with a torch. I don't even have a oxyacetylene rig. All I've got is a propane torch. I don't think I can get it hot enough. I might try a piece of scrap. But if not, I'll try to find somebody. Anyway, even if I don't, the amount of use that it'll get, these will probably be overkill. But anyway, that's D2 tool steel. So these are going to end up being about this, almost as big as I can get them. We're going to put really low friction ball bearings. I got some these are basically skateboard bearings, but they're not sealed, so they're very, very low rolling resistance. Actually, I have some others with shields on them. These are open. Dirt would get in them too easy. But anyway, those are a 22 millimeter bearing. We've got so these are like I said, skateboard bearings, but they're perfect for this. So they're 8 millimeter bore, 7 millimeters thick, 22 millimeters OD. I've got some 8 millimeter shoulder screws, so they fit in here real good. We're going to cut these off. there'll be a lip on one edge so that the rolling resistance of the shafting that goes on here for balancing stuff will be very low. This is a good fit in here. We're going to bore a very close tolerance hole in there so these will, and I haven't decided yet if they're going to be a slip fit with a little Loctite or a very light press fit. But either way, they're going to be, it's going to be a very precision fit. And of course, all of this will be done at one time so that they're perfectly concentric and square. And I'm sure you can't see this. Maybe you can, probably not. Anyway, the shoulder screws are, even though they're 8mm, because they don't make them in 7. Not that I could find anyway, at least not the McMaster had. So we got those, and bought 50 pieces of shim washers so we can stack those up so that basically what it'll end up with, and I have drawings, but I haven't managed to figure out how to make them into an assembly in the CAD program yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But anyway, this will be drilled and tapped for 6mm thread. I think they're 6, might be 5. Either way, whatever it is. And then the little wheel will go on here, and so we'll have washers on here so that it has a little bit of clearance away from the plate. They will overlap just slightly. So, like I said, on the edge of this, it's going to be cut down on one side. It's kind of like a notch out of it. So, where those notches are, they'll overlap slightly. So obviously the shafts won't drop through them. And then so the spacing of this is going to be, so very likely this is going to be 3.45 in size. So we're going to end up with just basically half of that minus a little bit. So it's probably going to be about 1.7 inches radius. So probably our spacing is going to be real close to 3.4 between them. But that is undecided yet until I can get a finished dimension off of it. That's going to actually be adjusted. And the uprights are going to also have a couple of holes in them and bushings so that they stay in alignment as I move them back and forth. And there will be a series of countersunk holes all the way down both sides in a parallel and square, so that we can adjust the width depending on what you want to put in. If it's a grinding wheel, it only needs to be a couple inches apart. You know, if it's a big old lathe chuck, it might be 10 inches apart. I have some 3/8 ground drill rod I'm going to use for the alignment shafts. I got some really nice 1-inch ground rod for a spindle. I've also got some 1 1/4 inch stainless that's really nice and straight. Obviously, other sizes would work. For a chuck, I can just clamp it down on the rod and it'll be fine. For other things, I'll have to make some cones. That's another thing. Anyway, this is what I really wanted to do for a project here. It's got a lot of little pieces. Not a lot of pieces, but you know, a fair number of pieces. They have to be, you know, pretty precise. The holes in this will be, all 4 of them have to be the same size because there'll be 2 wheels on each end. So, you know, obviously we'll turn this all at once. I'll probably end up, I haven't decided yet whether to just cut it off and chuck a little bit and just do them that way, or put it in the chuck and then run the steady rest. I obviously have less waste if I run the steady rest, but it's a long ways out from the chuck, and this thing's really heavy. I don't know what it weighs, but it's enough, 40, 50 pounds anyway. So that's coming up, and these plates, height isn't critical, but what will be critical is the distance from the bottom to the holes. They have to be exactly the same on both plates, and spacing, of course, will have to be the same. Otherwise, it won't be precise enough to do what we want. So hopefully that will all come together soon. I'm almost caught up on my side work. I still got some more to do, probably another week or 2. And usually I don't get orders from this customer but once every couple months. And in the last month and a half, I have had 10 orders, so which is great. It buys a lot of new tooling. So that's coming up. I did make an eBay score this week that I kind of find it's kind of cool. I'll show really quick. So this isn't the original box. Actually, this is an old box from when I had my mom's files in it after she passed. Anyway, I decided as part of the grinding wheel, or not the grinding wheel, but the balancer project, it would be really nice if I could grind the OD of those, which means a tool post grinder. They're expensive, but I went on eBay and I think I made a pretty good score on this one. This is themac, as far as I can tell. That's how you pronounce it, because it was the McGonigal Manufacturing Company. So I picked up the grinder. It came with you know, some wheels. Came with all the pulleys, which is good, so we can you know, run whatever size. Some wheels that are in terrible condition. This one is actually hexagonal, which no idea how you would get a grinding wheel hexagonal, but someone has managed it. They actually say McGonigal on them, and the National Grinding Wheel Company on that side. They actually all look like factory wheels. They say McGonigal Manufacturing Company. It's got two. This one's actually loose. It's got an spindle extension, so you got to collet, and you can run mounted wheels or the others. So I mean, it's like a lot of other ones, but so it looks, as far as I can tell, it's all here. They still make them. Even came with a nice old Williams wrench. Very cool. 5/8, 3/4. Piece of homemade something for it. No idea how they used it originally. It's possible. No, I'm not sure what they did with it. Anyway, it actually came with the original plastic old Bakelite hard green box. The seller packed it incredibly well. Unfortunately, it shifted in the box. The spindle went right through the side, and it didn't actually go through the outer box, but it destroyed the inner box. So, but otherwise it looks to be in good shape. I haven't actually measured the tool post. What do you bet that this fits in here to adjust the tool post? Nope, it's too big. So that isn't what that was for. Anyway, looks like a 1/4-inch piece of rod will go in there and take care of that. Yeah, that'll work. So got this. Don't know if it'll fit my lathe. Haven't looked yet. It's the first time I've taken it off. So if it fits, and it might, it looks to be about the right size. Mine takes a BXA size post. This one is the one McGonigal, or now it's themac company, suggests for a 12 to 15-inch lathe. Mine's 14, so that should be just about right. It does not have any guards. Matter of fact, it doesn't even look like it ever had a place or a way to mount a guard. Obviously, the new ones that they sell do. They still make this model. I don't know what year this was made. It doesn't say. The serial number on it is 4574. So sometimes the 74 is the year. I just don't know. But I haven't even plugged it in. It may not. I don't even know if it works. It looks like it. According to the seller, it did. I haven't plugged it in. It is new enough to have a grounded plug, so it's definitely not from the 50s or early 60s. Not sure when they required or went to a grounded safety ground on the plug, but let's plug it in and see if it works. Well, hopefully we won't have any sparks or anything else. Well, let's see. I'm gonna just hold it down. Well, it not only runs, it doesn't vibrate or make bad noises. Nice and smooth. Seems good. Obviously, we'll clean it up, lube it, make this fit the lathe. But yeah, it's like got a good deal. They were a couple grand on new ones from the Mac, and this one was I think $325 on eBay plus some shipping. So I think it was a little less than $350, which compared to some of them, seemed like a real bargain, especially since it actually appears to all be here. They specify 5 pulleys for it. It's got 2 on there. We've got 3 others. So it's got a it's got a little chart here on the side of the motor to tell you what size of wheel and what size of pulley to run. So you can, you know, which size to put on the motor and the spindle. They've got numbers on them. That's a 5. I'm assuming this is a 4. Yep, that's a 3. I'm guessing that's a 2, and that's a 1. So you can switch them out in 1, 2, 3, 4 on the pulley of the motor. Motor runs at 10,000 RPM, full load it says. So I'm not sure what the no load speed is, but that's full load. But I haven't checked the run out, but the shaft, I mean the spindle bearings seem really tight, and there's just no play. And as long as it runs true, with no run out, which I said I haven't checked it, can't really put an indicator on it very well. It's all aluminum, so have to mount it in the lathe to do that, and I have to see that. But we'll check the bushes or the brushes, which at least it runs. They don't seem completely destroyed. I don't think there's any lubrication points for the motor or the spindle, so we may not even have to lube it. Just clean it up a little bit, and it's not really all that dirty. I'll wipe it down. It's going to be cool. I may look at trying to make some guards for it. I saw at the Outside Screwball Chuck's video on his, because I looked it up after, of course, after I bought it. I should have looked at him beforehand just to make sure I knew what I was getting. But it's pretty cool. I wish I knew what this spiffy little thing was made for. I don't know. It's definitely shop made. They did a reasonable job. I just don't know what it's for. Anyway, that's going to be it. I'll try to edit this and actually get it out there. And my heater just kicked on, so now there's a lot of racket. But my friend Jason told me, he says, you should take this old cool steel box, which I have, and he said try to make the, get the logo like this off of the internet and make a decal for it, which, because it's an old 50s or 60s box that my mother had. So actually I think that's going to be a really cool idea. I might try to do that. Peel this old label off, or maybe put it up on top and put the company logo on there, because the original one, while it was cool, it got destroyed in shipping. But everything was still there. Everything was well packed. It was the best packing job I think I've ever seen. So that was actually pretty cool. So I may actually email the company and see if they'll tell me when it was made by the serial number. So this will probably show up at some point in a video, likely. If I do harden the wheels for the balancer, they will very likely, assuming I can figure it all out and it fits my lathe, which it should, we may grind those after they're hardened, because if I harden them, they won't be pretty anymore. So anyway, hopefully I'll get more videos out on a regular basis. That was the idea, and just been swamped with work. I worked all day until just a little while ago. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I was working until about 3:30 and finally came out here. And then let's see, that's about it. Yesterday, all day. I did make a cool part. I might show a picture of it in here. I made a solid copper record weight for go on a turntable for one of the audiophile guys I know, and actually tried it on my turntable last night, and I was astonished that it made a rather big difference to the sound, and I liked it. So I may have to make one for myself, but it's about $100 worth of copper and a lot of turning. But I didn't take any video of it because I just had to get it done. It still took longer than I thought it would. But I might put a couple photos into the video if I can. Anyway, really appreciate you guys watching and subscribing. The fact that I've got any subscribers at all blows me away. Very cool. Thank you. Anyway, thanks.